Hey guys, it's me, Sarah, and I am back, and you get to endure another one of my videos. Um, I'm in the process of putting together some accompaniment techniques for use in solo accompanying or any group accompanying. And I want to talk a little bit about accompaniment before I post those videos, before I begin posting those videos. But accompanying is something that a lot of church pianists do. We're kind of thrown into that. We may not necessarily be ready for that, but you've got congregational playing, which is your main thing, and then you have special music, which can range anywhere from somebody coming up with a chord sheet in their hand and saying, "I love this song, will you play this for me?" It has no music, it's just the words. My least favorite is when they come up and say, "Well, I don't have music for this, but if I sing it for you, can you play?" And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have no idea. Usually that's a song that I have never heard before, and so it really stretches me. Sometimes you may have music, you may have, perhaps they're singing a song out of the hymnal, or they're singing a song out of a songbook, and you don't want to just play exactly the four notes written, just like you would not want to do that for congregational singing. But we can sometimes get a little lost, a little bit bored with our accompanying skills, and in order to alleviate that, the videos that I will post about the accompaniment techniques, those will hopefully help to give you some ideas. But first of all, I want to talk about some of the things we shouldn't do when we are accompanying. The first and foremost thing we shouldn't do is to not just bang it out. You need to be sensitive to the message of the song. What is the song trying to say? And as you accompany this person, because you are not the soloist, but that's another point. As you accompany them, you want to be very sensitive to what the music is saying, what the words are saying, and reflect that in the style of accompaniment that you choose. One thing that is kind of hard for the pianist is when somebody brings you a song that they really shouldn't be singing. And I'm not even talking about the style of the music as far as whether it's good music or bad music. I'm talking about they bring you a song that is so far out of their vocal range that it's just painful. And then there's not a lot that you can do about that, especially if you're not comfortable changing keys or playing it in another key. That can be difficult, and it's hard to be the one saying, you really need to pick a song that doesn't go that high, or you need to pick a song that doesn't go that low, or all of these other things, uncomfortable positions. You may be fine with telling people that, but the soloist needs to be confident. And part of the confidence is your confidence in the ability that you have to accompany them in the proper manner. Their confidence is also, if they know it's too high, or they realize that they still want to sing the song, they need to know that you're behind them, that you're going to do everything you can to make them look good. In the past, I have taken songs and rewritten the melody a bit in the high parts so that the person singing it can still sing the song. We just kind of change the change the melody around a little bit so that they can still sing it, and it still doesn't change the general harmonic structure of the song. That's not my favorite thing to do. So If you're one of my people that comes to me and tells me you need this song, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but anyway, be sensitive to the quality of their voice. If they have a very light, airy voice, then probably you're going to have to err on the side of a lighter accompaniment. You don't want to have a lot of heavy chords that are going to drown them out. If they're a very confident, very musically secure singer, you have a lot more freedom to really dig in and to kind of wander off of the melody in your accompaniment, rather than somebody who has to have the melody just banged out for them every note, or they get lost, or they get afraid, or something. That does happen. That's not ideal. You may have to stay on the melody with them, but try to weave it in along with your other ideas. One thing that we can very easily forget is that simple is good. When you are dealing with an accompaniment situation where you've got a strong text, you're not playing an offertory, you're not playing a special yourself, you are accompanying someone. You are not the main messenger, as it were. The vocalist is that. So there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple. Sometimes a beautiful song is just made more noticeable. The words are more noticeable if the accompaniment is not overpowering it. So, not that you can't ever use more complex techniques and accompaniment styles, but just always be aware that if you are detracting from the message by the amazingness of your accompaniment, then you're probably overdoing it. Turn it into an offertory or a special that you can play alone. Don't do that during the solo. And then last, probably, as we've talked about in the hymn playing videos, don't just always use the same thing. Get a library of techniques that you can use and use them. Try to vary it up. Don't play, 3 verses and 3 choruses all using the same technique. Use a verse and then a chorus in a different thing. If you do a modulation, go back to a second verse, maybe try another technique. If you have a third verse, it's okay to tie in elements of the previous techniques that you've used in that last verse to bring it all together. You don't want, this is this verse, this is this verse, this is this verse, and never the twain or the three shall meet. You want it all to tie together in the end. So if you have a main idea, just throw that one in every now and again to kind of tie everything together, make it all fit. But those are some basic principles of accompaniment. And if you have any questions or any comments, I'd be glad to hear about them. Thanks.